Dan?
This is really kind of fun. She had these rules, and you'll have the deck so you'll be able to see them up close, but they really were kind of setting the tone of her classroom as she was a teacher. So rule 1, find a place you trust, then try trusting it for a while. Rule 2, general duties of the student, pull everything out of your teacher, pull everything out of your fellow students. Rule 3, general duties of a teacher, pull everything out of your students. Rule 4, consider making an experiment. These are just really fun and just kind of shows her energy around this. Rule 5, be self-disciplined. This means finding someone wise or smart and choosing to follow them. To be disciplined is to follow in a good way. To be self-disciplined is to follow in a better way. Rule 6, nothing is a mistake. There are no win and no fail. There's only make. Rule 7, the only rule is work. If you work, it will lead to something. It's the people who do all the work all the time who eventually catch on to things. Rule 8, don't try to create and analyze at the same time. They're different processes. Rule 9, be happy whenever you can, manage it. Enjoy yourself, it's lighter than you think. Rule 10, we're breaking all the rules, even our own rules, and how do we do that? Leaving plenty of room for X quantities. That's the John Cage edition. So she was running around with Warhol and John Cage and all sorts of fun people in the late 60s and 70s. So this is more for you guys than the students themselves, but I think that this is really a fun way to start to think about this, how she was continually challenging not only the work, but the process to get to the work and make sure that people were having a good time doing it and continuing to think about these things. So yeah, so we would like to jump into the projects themselves. You want to lead up to this one and maybe I'll pass around the book. So she did the series of the alphabet series, and it's based off an E.E. Cummings quote called, we don't have to, this is not part of the lesson, but damn everything but the circus. But she has this really gorgeous book that was put out in the 70s that shows all of her work in detail that we're going to be emulating with someone here. So I'll pass this around as Katie starts to kind of work through and show you the process here that we're going to be working on.
Okay, so I totally did not develop this, Dan developed this, so just to give credit here. So the idea here was to take like a certain amount of like circus imagery and then figure out a way to get it onto paper and then to be able to stamp a letter over it. And maybe you can talk about like how you came up with this process, because I didn't.
Yeah, so my first job out of high school was actually silkscreen. I've been close to it. I used to silkscreen croquis sunglass holder displays in 1917 and a half or something. And so knowing that we're probably not going to be silkscreening in the classroom and all the challenges that go with that, trying to figure out different ways to emulate it. And so the thinking is we've got some fun kind of clip art from the olden days. We've gotten them back, and we've already got some lovely volunteers helping us trim these out. And the thinking is the kids can pick through these, assemble them in ways they want. Paste sticks, we're going to put them onto a bright cardstock. So we've got full rainbows of cardstock here of all sorts of different fun ways to do that. And the thinking is they will assemble those, they will get them where they want, they'll glue them together, and when they're done, they kind of come up to the printing station. So we don't want to spread paint everywhere. We want the kids to come and stand in a single file line. And so we've made stencils. So I hand cut the whole alphabet out of some plastic here. And what we'll do is take something that they've assembled in different ways. We'll just overlay it where they want, and then what we'll do is have the parents kind of hold it in place and let them kind of just stamp with just a simple kitchen sponge and black acrylic. And so I'll be able to come in here. And then what we'll do is have each letter of the alphabet go through. So I'll draw the end when we haven't done before.
So they pick what they want.
No, I think they just come up and we just go through the alphabet. So that
You don't think they pick their first initial?
Yeah, no, they got to pick the bit there. Yeah, I think this one is a D. You've got we'll organize these so they're alphabetical.
It might be, I think it's an A.
I think it is an A. You're right. It's been one of those weeks already. So yeah, so I've just put a little bit of black on here. And we have positive and negative, but it's going to be a much messier one to hold the positive and kind of go around the edges. So this is the negative cutout. We're going to stamp at it until it's the right thickness that I want it for coverage. And so we can help them to, I haven't done this yet, so I'm gonna get enough on here. There we go. And the thought is that this will be really great to have, another parent handy to be able to take this after it's done and just wipe it off or, move it to the side so that it's not too much of a crazy process. As they go through it.
Yeah, we had some silver acrylic go awry in the first grade classroom. And it resulted in me and a bottle of hand sanitizer and another parent scrubbing silver acrylic off of everything around Christmas time. So that was the reason we felt that this should be contained to one area. And perhaps I will add a bottle of isopropyl alcohol to the kit so that if it does get out of hand, it's easy.
It's just water-based, it comes out with water.
Yeah.
It's plastic.
I think it was dry.
Yeah, once it dries, it's harder to get up.
Yeah.
Then you need good fingernail.
There we go. So we pull it off, you can kind of see what's left over, and then we've got
Yeah.
the letter A. And so the thinking is we'll hang these all together in an alphabet side by side in the
Nice.
contrast, and we'll do one per grade or class. I'm not quite sure. We're just looking at that, the number, remember we netted out. So the thinking is if there's a kid that gets done early, they get to do another one, and we just keep going until the alphabet's done. And then we know when the project's finished. But so a couple of fast-moving kids will be able to get two in there. And we've certainly got lots of supplies for those to be able to play with them. And it's really based off, going to the seashore and seeing kind of old advertisements in some of the stores and some things we see that at our beaches. And so that's kind of the visual impression as well as some of the circus and some of the old time advertising, but she definitely has a affinity to old adverts and the illustrations around that. And so it's fun to just kind of mix those up and have some fun with it. So that is the simpler one for the young ones. And then for the older grades, we had a couple of samples that got misplaced. Ellen forgot to drop them off and she got pulled away today. So I've been working on another alternative over here to kind of show the types of things that we were working with. So for the 4th through 8th graders, the thinking is again trying to emulate some of the silkscreen stuff. Just a couple of these. So you can see that when it is somewhat translucent when you turn the colors over each other. So the thinking is that we can take different colors of tissue and glue and start to create some of the designs. There's not a lot of cutting. I mean, they can be cut, they can be torn. It's a very loose type of thing. But this what I just knocked out in the back. This was trying to emulate one I did before, but this is like starting to layer some different tissues and shapes, create those, and then taking it to another level of thinking about how we do a quote. And so this was one that my kids always have the car toys jingle stuck in their head, better way to go. never, so that's the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking of kind of advertising and stuff. And so I played around with a better way to go with a little car zooming, and then and then her street signs and things. But then trying to contrast that a little bit, pulling Matthew 23:35 about how I was hungry and got food and this and you're doing, thinking about maybe turning this into a homeless type of message or something along those lines. And so what we're thinking is having the older kids start to think of, be able to look at some of the different designs and think about how they would cut things out. They could put in lyrics to a love song. They could put in a favorite poem. They could put in a quote. I also had a big packet of different advertising slogans and even some top 40 lyrics that were age appropriate. It's really hard to find.
It's hard.
And so I had some of those as kind of just stimuli. We'll put those in the bucket for what they were. Kids are going to know their own lyrics. We've got some kid samples that came out really fun. We've been pulling, what was it? I can't even remember their names anymore. But yeah, so we've got gel pens, we've got Sharpies. So thinking about contrast of light and dark. I really love this model one, and this is kind of probably where I got the idea of the tissue, of pulling that across and thinking about how one here saying backwards. We can get into the detail. But yeah, so this one is just going to be taking from the different tissue papers, creating some of the design, and then thinking about how we can, overlay them, how we can bring in maybe, the next level is to get a quote involved that's hopefully positive. She was about helping people love, all sorts of these types of things. She had quotes from Canada, Cummings, and things like that. And then if we can, kind of mixing it with some advertising on top of that. That may be too much of a reach. I think quotes and layers are good enough. If they can take it to the next level and come up with a creative contrast, maybe that's more of a 7th, 8th grade type of thing.
Yeah.
But as we always say, you guys know your kids and the level that they're at in the classes, and so it's always about tuning the lesson to be fun for them and meet the needs that they have and take it as far as they can. There's just a couple of kids in the room that you challenge to take it to another level from there, but that's what we're after tonight. It could be more playing off this with arrows, and starting to think about this. Profits a boom, runway. There's so many fun things to do around these, but having some script writing. I know I have a 7th grader that's really starting to get into calligraphy and like letter forms and really thinking about those types of things. Again, our own kids a little bit more, and so pre-K not thinking about those things, but 7th graders, lettering and these types of things are something to think about.
So do they write their quotes and then you put the tissue paper over to make that outline of white?
So with this one, I just did a silver gel pen
silver
on top
pen.
of it, so we've got white ones also. So,
And I also wanted some feedback on the pens, like we probably are gonna need more
Yeah.
this week. So
Yeah.
like if there are any that are particularly bad or good,
Okay.
I just didn't wanna buy a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
If I
Are they
buy
paint
one, it'd be
pens?
terrible.
these are gel ones.
Just gel. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are jelly roll Japanese ones, but yeah, there's certainly different ways to approach it and think about how we're using the space. And she did some that were much more, kind of more graphic in how they went, but I really love the organic shapes and not having everything be perfect edges and things, and that they can have some fun with that. So yeah, that's kind of what we're after. So.
I got a couple that were silver just for variety.
Yeah.
But I
And
don't
then whatever ones you think, black markers as well.
Yeah, so we have lots of Sharpies of different thicknesses. And yeah, so and I'm horrible at script, so I'm trying to do cursive. One bad thing is skipping 3rd grade, never got that down. So yeah, I think I'd like to even challenge them to think about that, and that was definitely a part of all of her stuff. Had this lovely script, and then some other like much more different types of contrasts of writing, and thinking about how to do different types of writing. So I think those are all nice aspects that we can bring out of it, and have a hat tip to Sister Corita Kent. So.
Does anybody have an 8th grader here?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So they did something around that same time, which was with Ed Rushka, and he took normal everyday words but made it into art, and he used gunpowder and blood, and the kids were like, ooh. But what they did was they took a positive word and they made it 3-dimensional, then with paper, and then they photographed it, and then they drew it. So they're familiar with a lot of letter forms, so you've got tap into, like, remember when you did that, because it's the same time right there of the pop art kind of thing. And so they'll get that. And the messages, I think we have to really, I love what you said early on in the presentation of how she was taking like advertising but making it more meaningful, but in a positive way. So her connection to God, the big G, General Mills is really the big G up there. And so go there instead of
Just Nike swooshes.
yeah. And
I don't want a whole bunch of
both.
just do it, right?
Right. So there's tons. So maybe if you got a brainstorming session to get them rolling.
That's a great idea.
And then you'll see where they're headed. Maybe you don't want it to go over here.
Prior
so
to
you bring
diving
it back
in,
by
yeah.
saying, well, what about this? And then they can keep going. But it's
that's
a
a
good
good idea.
group, and they're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
And so what we have fourth grade and then, which one?
Eighth.
You have eighth grade too, so that'll be better.
And I'll also be doing or helping out